Spurs fans, it's Paul Hotspur Hippie here, the only psychedelic soccer show on the internet, as you all know. I thought I'd do a quick video tonight. I was going to do a stream, bit tired, something off topic, something a bit lighter, because let's face it, it's all getting a bit heavy recently, isn't it? So just something a bit lighter, something a bit off topic, something that no one will watch, but hey, that's life. And even though it's a video, I'm going to start the stream as usual by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land from where I'm streaming today, the Wallamedical people of the Darug Nation, Ingani Warami. Pay my respects to your elders past, present and emerging, and recognise that sovereignty is still not ceded, no treaty, no nothing. What can you do? Always was and always will be Aboriginal land. So, what I'm going to do for this video is it's half-assed. There's no planning. It's my top podcasts for 2024. And I think there's 5. We'll see how we go. I'm just going to go through my podcast player. Now, I listen to a lot of podcasts, or I listen to podcasts, and for me, like, the hallmark of a good podcast is that I'm so interested that I fall asleep pretty quickly. Like, it's almost the more engaging it is, I fall asleep. And then the next evening, I have to just, scroll forward 5 minutes and see how we go, man. See how we go. So these are pretty much all movie podcasts that I found. And the thing is, because I found these under different circumstances, so I don't know if they're popular or not. I think some are, some aren't. I don't know, but they're ones I really enjoy. I think they all do a brilliant job of what they're doing. So, and they're in no order. I think there's 5 that I've really narrowed it down to. There's 5, but we'll see how we go. So, just going down my alphabetical list. Let's have a look here. Yeah, that's one here. And I'll put links in the description below. It's called Cult 45, the movie podcast. And I'll tell you how I found this one, man. It was, how can I put this? I'm wary of blaxploitation movies. I know they're hip and trendy and they're all, hoes and bitches and all that sort of stuff. But I'm a bit wary of watching them and what to enjoy out of them, because when you look at the writers and the producers and the credits, they're often white guys, and I'm just thinking, are we stereotyping black Americans here, or is it cool or not? But a couple of really good blaxploitation films I found, horror films. Blackula, look, it's low budget. Blackula is it's off the charts, man. Blackula is a fantastic film. You can see everyone's just trying to make a movie. William Marshall as Dracula, Blackula, he's one of the best Draculas going. He's so horrific. I am Blackula. Oh, that's crap. He does it in an American accent, but the backstory, there's a bit of slavery involvement and stuff like that. And throughout the film, there's a bit of messaging, which I like. But it's the overall performances, the story's great, and it's what you want from a bloody vampire film, a bloody Dracula film. It's great. I loved it. And then I watched Scream Blackula Scream, and oh my Lord, dare I say it's even better. But that's not the reason I found Cult 45. The reason I found Cult 45, because I thought I was on a roll here. I thought, Blackula, Scream, these are amazing films. What else is there? Blackenstein, the Black Frankenstein. And oh my God, you can watch this on YouTube, folks. It's I don't know what to say about it, man. It is, when you say that, so bad it's good, it is so bad it's good, because I have watched it a few times because I just can't believe what I'm seeing. It is an horrendous movie. It is the worst of the worst. It's bad acting. It's half-assed production like values, even though they got some of the lab gizmos from the original 1930 or 19. When was Frankenstein film? Was it 19? I think it was 1931, wasn't it? They got all those props, but it's so shit. And I thought, right, I've got to find out who else out there in podcast land has seen Blackenstein. So I searched it, and Cult 45 came out, and you know, I'm not saying they've got great taste because, you know, they just happen to coincide with my opinion. But I listened to that one, made me shit myself laughing, and I regularly listen to their podcast. They did one the other week on Hateful Eight. They did one. I forgot which one I listened to the other night. They've done 468 episodes. So I go back through their back catalogue and listen to one. I listened to one the other night where they're just going through US presidents, just bagging the shit out of them, and they're so funny. And I really hope, man, because I don't want to be a judgy person and stereotype people. I really hope they're Black Americans, because some of the language they use, if they're not, I'm in fucking trouble. I really am. But I mean, now fucking brilliant. Cult 45, the movie podcast, absolutely superb, wonderful podcast. Right, the next one I'll go to is a podcast that I've been listening to for a couple of years now. It's called The Final Guys, and this is a really good podcast. This is how you do like a multi-presentation. I've got some Ribena here. Multi-presentation really well, because they do this on YouTube as well, and it's like the usual Zoom meeting, but they don't talk over each other. They give each other room to breathe, and it's they're mainly horror authors, although Jason Brandt, who's branched off and done his own highfalutin bad movie channel called it's called Jason Brandt, isn't it? But the program's called So Bad It's Good, but it's brilliant as well. But I like The Final Guys, man. It's got mainly horror authors: Jason Brandt, Jack Campese's not an author, don't know, he's just a blow-in. But Hunter Shea, Chad Lutzke, and other people, so they know what they're talking about. And it's a set format. You come in, there's a bit of news, bit of bollocks. There's then they go through what they've watched that week, and then there's the main feature. Same every week. And I've got so many recommendations for it's a horror podcast, but it's like B movie as well. I've got so many really good horror or B movie recommendations to watch, and also I relive some of the crap movies I haven't seen for 40 years. You know, you go down the video shop and you think, fuck it, I'll watch this, because you've watched everything else, and you see this, I'll watch that. They talk about it, it's like, oh my God, my neurons are fired up. The fact that they're talking about this movie that I've completely forgotten about for 40 years, maybe this is going to stave off Alzheimer's, you know? It's the Miracle Podcast. So, and they're really good, you know? They're funny, and they know what they're talking about, because they are authors, you know, a lot of them. And brilliant. I the Final Guys podcast, I think that's one of the least popular I've got on my list here, and it's one of the best. It's one of the best. I don't know, you look at their YouTube channel and they get I don't know, bugger all views, and I don't get it. Because for me, when I'm watching things on YouTube about video reviews, I'll basically watch Red Letter Media or The Final Guys. They're, Red Letter Media, couple of million subs and couple of million views. For me, I love The Final Guys. I think they're brilliant. They're brilliant. I watch it or listen to it every week without fail. Right, that's two. What's my third one here? All right, okay. I mean, you can tell the flavour of what I listen to. The third one is, these are in no order. It's called The Rotten Horror Picture Show. Rotten Horror Picture Show. It's by a couple of people, and they tend to go through the top 100 horror films on Rotten Tomatoes, I think. It's Clay. I apologise. I should have done my research. I'll do my research now. Who the fuck presents it? I know is it Clay? Amanda, isn't it? Yeah, Clay and Amanda. Don't know who they are. I think Clay does a bit of comic book artwork. Amanda, I don't know, but they're cool. They're cool, and they'll just digest a film, but they're really funny when they do it, and it's just that because they're going through the usually the top 100 horror films as voted by Rotten Tomatoes. It's a real variety, Some are shit, some are good, and these are all podcasts. This one it usually takes me 4 nights to get through because I want to hear what they're talking about next, but I'm asleep. So it's like, okay, I got through 10 minutes that night. I'll listen again the next night and have another go. I'll just keep on going, man. So yeah, Rotten Horror Picture Show, man, brilliant. The 4th one I'll go for. The 5th one I've just looked at, and the 5th one, just to keep you watching, is a sports one. But the 4th one is called Smegpod. And I think this is quite a popular one. I think so, because he's published books and stuff like that. I don't know. Smegpod. It was originally a rundown of all the James Bond films. It's by a guy called John Rain. And he has guests on. But, you run out of Bond films. So what else are you going to talk about? So they go through... again, sort of maybe a video store sort of stuff. What was the last one they did? Oh yeah, no, I didn't. I don't listen to all of them because it depends whether I like the film. But a really good Die Hard 2 rundown. I mean, why would anyone do a podcast about Die Hard 2? It's like, but it is really good, really good. And yeah, I've been listening to this one for quite a long time, and it's not family friendly. It's a bit rude. It's a bit top shelf. It's a bit blue, if you know what I mean. Fucking hilarious though, man. It really is hilarious, and I like it because John Rain. One of John Rain's big selling points to me is, I think his favourite movie is Superman the movie, which is my favourite movie. The first movie I saw in a cinema. So we got that connection. And it all stems from that. Beautiful podcast. Now, and the last one I'll give you for 2025, unless I don't know if I'll do this in 2026. Who knows if we'll all still be here. I can't go past Roy and HG, man. I don't know if they're going to be back next year. I hope they are. Roy and HG. It's 2 Australian comedians. I don't know if you can call them comedians. Roy Slaven and HG Nelson. I'll just call them sporting legends of Australia. And I've got a real soft spot for these guys because the first thing I heard on Australian radio, and I've just landed at Sydney Airport. I've picked up my bags. I've been fingered by customs. I mean, fuck me, they gave me a hard time when I came to Australia. It was just like, oh my God. It took me 2 hours to get through. I don't know. And this was in the days before I had the beard and all that. I was like squeaky clean. I had hair, blonde hair, blue eye. Maybe they were just profiling me because they, this is 1995 before profiling existed for certain people, if you know what I mean. So they just picked on me and gave me the work over. So I got through. I was a bit frazzled, thinking, oh my God, what kind of fucking country is this I've walked into? Picked up from the airport, driving in the car, bit weary, Australia, new country. They put on the radio, and it was Triple J, and it was This Sporting Life on a Saturday afternoon. It was Roy and HG taking the piss out of sport and sports people in a really good way. It was like my perfect comedy. It's like half cerebral, half toilet and arse. Really good mix. And the references they were making, I didn't understand the full context of what they were talking about. to give you, in fact, the first thing I remember them saying is they were talking about this rugby league player called Alfie Langer. And I could get from what they were saying he was a buffhead. And they're saying he's released his own toiletry range. And then just before they cut to music, Roy says, well, I don't know if you've ever walked up to Alfie and had a sniff, but I think you'll find it very rewarding. And with those words, even though I didn't know who Alfie Langer was or much about rugby league, I knew I was going to be all right in Australia. As it turns out, they're a bit of an oasis in a sea of fucking nothing. But several years later, when I was doing my artwork and I was deputy president of the Australian Cartoonist Association, I met the guy that plays H.G. Nelson. He's a guy called Nigel Pickhaver. And I told him this story and he said, wow, you got an amazing memory. Really nice guy. But they're just so irreverent. But you can't, I mean, if you take offense at these guys, I mean, you know, you are a snowflake, you know, and this isn't talking about like some weird humor. It's just like they shit on everything that's holy in a really fun way. So Roy and HG, This Sporting Life. What's it called now? They're back on the ABC. But fuck me, if they're so Bludging on the Blind Side, ABC Grandstand. I hope they're back for the new rugby league season. They are, and a lot of what I do on this channel, it's not plagiarised. I don't copy, but it's definitely inspired. They're probably my biggest inspiration on this channel. You know, when I go a bit silly or off topic or daft stuff, I've got a few inspirations. Roy and HG are definitely up there. Not ashamed to admit that one, but you know. So if you think I'm good, listen to those guys. Anyway, just a bit of light, you know, bit of light stuff, man. Bit of light. Anyway, till next time, folks. Peace and love, man. Oh, yeah, let's get the old things. Peace and love, man. Peace and love, man. Peace and love. And come on, Spurs.